credit to South Carolina's team, their coaches. They played a great game today. They were physical, they were aggressive, they had a good plan in terms of what they did, and we didn't bring our A game necessarily, dug a big hole for ourselves in the first half. I was proud of our players, the way they fought back in the game. It shows a lot of character, but what about the beginning? What do we need to do to, everybody has a lot to learn from this experience. We have a lot of guys on our team that haven't lost a game. And, if you're a great competitor, you really don't like losing. This is a lesson for everybody in terms of what you have to do to prepare, what it takes to play with consistency in this league. We made far too many mistakes, especially on defense, especially in the first half. Had a lot of missed tackles. That's to take nothing away from their players. Garcia played a great game. Jeffries is a great player. He made some great catches, a couple great catches with pretty good coverage on him in critical situations. We had 3 third-down circumstances in the third quarter where we could have got off the field, jumped off sides on one, and they converted all of them on their touchdown drive, which really changed, the momentum of the game. I think everybody needs to remember what this feels like and make a commitment and to what they need to do to better prepare themselves to play the best football we can play as a team. And, that's see what we're made out of. We still can control our own destiny by what we do if we're willing to make the commitment to do it. I believe in this team. I believe in our football players. We got out-coached today, too. I take full responsibility for what we didn't do correctly. That's what coaches do. They teach players, and you need to get players to do the right things. And if we didn't do that, that's our fault. Probably didn't make a very good call on the fake. That's right on the edge of Shelley's range. But it did give them the momentum of the game back, and we could have taken points right there. Not that would have affected the outcome of the game because we never got them stopped. But we did a lot of good things today. We need to build on those things, and we need to get the things that we need to get corrected. We could not run the football today, and that was a problem. We got too much pressure when we tried to throw it and had too many negative plays in the passing game. So we got a lot to work on. This is everybody on the team. Special teams, we had a bad snap on a punt. We had a bad snap on a field goal. Didn't score in a red zone like we needed to. They took advantage of third down and fourth down conversions to keep drives alive. And, you don't win football games when we didn't stop them once in the red zone and gave up too many big plays. So we have a lot of work to do as a team, and everybody's got to make a commitment to do it. It starts with me, and we'll certainly do that.
Coach, did some of the problems early on with the kicking game go towards you making that call for a big field goal?
Well, we missed a field goal, but it was really a bad snap. It was really more the range thing than probably anything else. And they usually overload and rush, so, pretty good play that we've had success with before. I mean, even if the guy would have caught the ball, I don't know if he'd have been able to make a first down and probably would have had to break a tackle, but we dropped the ball.
Coach, do you think Garcia's success today had more to do with the secondary or more to do with the rush not affecting him enough?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think when you play pass defense, we got some pressure on him in the third quarter, and he made some really good throws on a couple third downs. I mean, we hit him right when he threw it. It's usually a combination of you don't cover them close enough and you don't rush them and get them out of their rhythm and zone. And when a quarterback has a day like that, and we didn't do a good enough job as a team in every regard. We made some mental errors on pressures. We made mental errors in coverage. We had a couple opportunities to play the ball, and he played the ball better than we played the ball. And we worked extremely hard on playing the ball big, in this game. I made a great catch down here on the other end. I thought Mark Barron had a chance to intercept that ball, and the guy made a great play. Dre got his hands on another ball that he caught and made a big play out of. And, he beat us a couple times too, but we didn't do a good job of affecting him either with the rush.
You grabbed momentum early in the third quarter. How critical was it in converting 3 straight first downs with the first score?
Well, I mean, that was, you know, we had gotten ourselves back in the game. We needed to get a stop. We created 3 long yardage third down situations, 10, 8, 9, jump off sides on 3rd and 10, give them 3rd and 5, and they convert. So that to me was the turning point. I mean, there was a big turning point in the hole that we dug for ourselves, but after we got back to that drive, you know, sort of with those opportunities that we weren't able to get off the field on 3rd down was really big in the game.
Did South Carolina's defense do anything you weren't expecting?
Not really. You know, they had a good plan. They did a pretty good job. They tried to take away the big plays, which they did. They jammed the box on the runs, did a good job with that. We didn't finish the blocks, and you know, we got sacked too many times. But it really wasn't. We got beat when we got sacked. It wasn't that we didn't know what they were doing.
Nick, this is the 3rd straight SEC road game. Going back to the Auburn game last year, you guys have fallen behind early. Can you put your finger on anything as a reason for that?
Well, you know, we had played pretty well on the road up until the Auburn game last year, I thought. And I don't know. I think this year's team is different than last year's team. I think we played Auburn last year. Our team was tired. We had a short week. We didn't get off to a very good start. I think this team needs to mature and play with more confidence, because early in 2 games we were very sporadic defensively in terms of our ability to execute. And I'm not talking about whether I tried to cover the guy and he beat me. I'm talking about doing the right things, you know, not making mental errors, making adjustments in games, where we've been a little better at that when we play at home. So I think that has something to do with poise. I think it has something to do with confidence. And it's something that we need to continue to improve on so that we can play better on the road. It takes a lot more competitive character to play in circumstances like we played in on the road a couple times this year. And to our players' credit, they have come back in games. But you got to be able to punch them in the first round. You can't counterpunch them and think that you're always going to be able to make it right. And they caught up to us today.
It's been a long time since you've lost. How was the mood in the locker room?
Well, I think that, you know, if you're a great competitor, losing hurts, and no one that's a great competitor likes to lose. And we have a lot of guys that are great competitors on our team that are upset about the fact that, but we got beat today. Okay, so I mean, South Carolina beat us. All right, so it's not like we just lost. I mean, they beat us. They out-executed us. They played better than we played. They played with more intensity. They played physical. They had a good plan and did a good job of executing it, and we made far too many mental errors. So we want to correct the things that we didn't do correctly, and hopefully the players will learn that it takes more than what we've been doing to beat good football teams on the road. And there's lessons to be learned when you win, and there's lessons to be learned when you don't have success, and our players need to learn that. So,
How do you rate the play of your quarterback? How do you rate the play of your quarterback today?
well, I think that, you know, he didn't handle the pressure real well at times, but I thought Greg did a good job out there. He got us in the right place. A couple times we took sacks that, you know, just like getting sacked right before we faked a field goal. You know, we lost about 8 or 9 yards there, or, you know, we got a totally different situation relative to the field goal. So, you know, things like that, we need to do a little better job of getting rid of the ball. It's okay to throw the ball away so you don't take a sack. But I thought Greg did a good job. He's a good leader. He's done a good job for us all year. We just had too many negative yards in terms of the pressure. And we just, you know, it's not, when the quarterback gets pressured in the pocket, it's usually not his fault. You know, and it's hard to play quarterback when the guys around you don't play well. And we probably didn't play well enough to protect him well enough to give him an opportunity to get some of the things done that we wanted to get done. And, you know, again, there was an absence of explosive plays, even though we were pretty efficient throwing the ball and moving the ball. The big problem with us is first drive we get 3 points, we stall in the red zone. You know, next time we go right down the field, miss a field goal. You know, so we didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had, and they did.
One more.
Nick, you said there are a lot of guys in that locker room that haven't lost a game before. Knowing them the way you know them, how do you think they will respond?
I think they'll respond. You know, I think they'll respond the right way. I think we've got good leadership on this team. You know, we've got some guys that have been around that have played a lot of winning football. They have a lot of pride in their performance. They had a lot of pride, you know, in Alabama and our team. And I think they'll respond the right way. And this will be a great lesson for all of us to do a better job, and what we need to do to help our players be more successful, and the commitment that they make to help themselves be successful. You know, everybody had a choice today. It's not really about what you did. It's not about what you can do. It's about the choice you made about what you do right now. And we had that choice before the game, and we have that choice now as a team in terms of how we move forward.